What what a time. I mean, these past 4 months have been the greatest experience I've ever had. In, well, 4 months, 3 months, but I'm thinking four because I'm like, oh, it's about to be February and we started talking in October, but it's more like 3 months. So, 3 months ago today. 3 months? Yep, yeah, yeah. 3 months ago today, we were at Alana's house, and not Alana's house, we were at JD's house, but we were hanging out with you, me, Colton, and Alana. We were all at JD's house with Coach Gallagher, and we were walking around the neighborhood and just enjoying each other's time. And when I first got there, I felt so awkward because I was like, oh my gosh, I mean, like, what do we do? And then luckily, JD was there, and there was Sharpies, and I think it was Alana who at first was like, "Let's do mustaches," and then Colton got his little thing on because Alana did it for him, and then you, or wait, what? And then I was like, "I want a mustache," and then you started to do it, and then Alana was like, "Oh, oh no, baby, come on, no, 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 like stop," because you were doing a bad job, I guess. And so Alana took the pen and gave me the greatest beard known to man out of Sharpie. And it turned purple. And then we got some tough freaking flicks. Filmed the TikTok dance thing that we did. My first ever TikTok that I've ever been in. And then we went on a walk. And we were walking around for like 2 hours or so. And I just remember wanting to be like close to you so bad and walk side to side and hold your hand and skip and just do something, like anything to be close with you. And then as time went on, you and Alana and me and Colton and JD, uh, Colton and you swapped places, and then they were leading and we were behind them. And I just remember talking to you, and your mom called, and I said, hey, even though I had no idea who she was, and that was the first time I had ever talked to her. And I remember she kind of ignored me, but, and then after a while, I stole your hat and I put it on, and we were just joking. And I gave you my little coat thing, I remember. Like, whatever I was wearing, it was a mess. And then I had your hat on and your glasses, and it was just so fun. And then eventually we passed Trapper's house and got to the bridge. And then you were on the on the way to the bridge. You were like just constantly saying like, they're so close, like their hands are both out, like they should need to hold hands. It's cold as freak. And we kept pointing and like saying how close they were and like how they were walking, acting as if we were just like two little wingmen who didn't have an interest in each other or anything. We were just like, we were there for them. No, no, no. We were just two friends, and then they were the couple. No, no, no. What? I didn't like you. No. But then whenever you were like, oh my gosh, I'm sick of this, and you put their hands together, and it was just so sweet because you forced their hands together, and then they did not let go for a long time. And then after like 30 seconds or so walking, Alana was like, wait a minute, breaks off with Colton. And then that contradicts what I just said about holding their hands for a long time. But after this, and then breaks off hands with Colton, and then turns around and then she says, y'all need to hold. And then she doesn't come back and put us together, and both of us were so awkward. Both of us had our hands out and like ready, and I was like trying to look at you to see if you were okay with it, and you were just like stunned and nervous, and I'm getting nervous just thinking about it, and I have butterflies. But I just remember being so nervous. And then I think she came over and put her hands together, and then that was euphoric. That was an amazing feeling. And then I like how you immediately took your phone out and took a picture of us together. And so I have the exact timestamp of when it was. And then we just kept walking, except now we were both couples holding hands and just being happy. And then we got back. Oh no, and then it was, well, first it was 7:07 p.m. on the bridge whenever we first started holding hands, and you looked really good that night. And then about 4 minutes later, I got the picture with the guy dressed in a Sukuna costume. Me and Colton did. And then, like 10 or so minutes later, we got back to JD's house and I started taking pictures of us. And then I took a picture of Colton and Alana. And then we sat down on the couch and I was going to take the part where you could lay down, but you were like, no, I want it. And then I was like, why don't we both just share? And so I got really close to you and we got under the blanket together and we were just cuddling. And it was so sweet. And then eventually I started to put my hands on my face and realized that the Sharpie was on my hands and it was probably getting on your hands and it was probably getting on the blanket. So I needed to take it off. So we went to the bathroom and Alana started scrubbing off Colton's face and you started scrubbing off mine with a mix of water and alcohol, I think. And then something happened. I think it was I don't remember if it was you or me. You'll have to tell me. But one of us, wait, not you or me. You or Lana. I had no part of this. You or Lana put down one of the rags and knocked over like a paper towel and then it caught it on fire. And then they I think it was Alana. She knocked it off, and then it landed in the toilet paper, like part where it's supposed to hold all the extra toilet paper rolls for whenever you roll out whenever you run out, roll out. Autobots, roll out, and it caught on fire, and it was just so hectic, and I was like, what a first night to be like the way we were, and ended that night with you walking me to my car, and I got in a hug, and then went home. And apparently, I see on my phone right now, I took a picture at 11:47 of me in the shower with the remnants of my Sharpie beard still there, which I probably sent it to you. And then the next day after that, me and Colton went to Sam's, I think it was. Yeah, yeah. We went to Sam's and we bought flowers for y'all. Two beautiful bouquets of flowers on November 1st. And then later that night, after the Restlofs, we went and. Oh, wait, no. Before the Restlofs, we got our signs that we made over the couple of days, and I couldn't show you. Oh my gosh, I remember the entire time I kept teasing and saying, like, Colton sign for Alana. And you were like, why can't you call while I'm doing it? And I was like, because we're like doing whatever. And I was just like, okay. Or wait, you were just like, okay. And I was like, I promise it'll be worth it. And then look where we are now. 3 months later, and freaking happy as freak. Oh my gosh. I was so nervous to ask you. Me and Colton, we were petrified. But y'all walked out and you ran up and you just immediately hugged me. And that was the sweetest thing. And Alana literally told Colton, like, shut up, I hate you, die. And then you ran up and hugged me, and that's how I immediately knew, like, you were the one for me. It's like the complete polar opposite reactions. And it's exactly what I wanted. And then we wrestled off, and I don't remember what happened, but then later that night, after the wrestle offs, oh, wait, I remember whenever we asked you, or we were taking pictures in the gym with our signs because we had already asked you before. Coach Evans walked in and he was just like completely stunned, but he had the fattest smile on his face because he was also like, "Oh, that's sweet," but he was like pretending like he hated it. And then after that, we drove in Alana's car and we drove all the way to Sushi Gen. And I tried some of your sushi and I was not a fan, but we ball. I miss those days. It was really, really fun getting to know you for the first time again and just all of it. And I remember that night Colton made me try wasabi for like $20 and I got it for free because he didn't say anything about drinking water. And that was freaking pretty sweet. Okay, this little recap has gone on long enough. I love you so much, baby. And I hope that whatever you're doing right now is super cool and awesome, and you're doing it amazingly, even though it's probably just sitting in bed, listening to my voice and listening to me ramble. And hopefully, you're ending this with a smile on your face, and hopefully, your face hurts from smiling. Because I hate you and I want you to have pain. No, it's not it. I love you so much.